artists, let's talk about how you're going to carve the stamp for your Kehinde Wiley self-portraits. This will be the background that we will print for your final piece. In carving, it's very important that you take your time and you're paying attention to a few key things to help you make this print. First, this is a gouge. This tool is sharp on the end. You want to hold it by the red handle so that you are scooping slowly as if you were using it like a shovel. So the V-shaped blade looks like a level V. This is wrong. This is upside down. Second, you always want to make sure that you are carving away from you into the back of the bench pin so that when you put this thing on the table and you create your cuts, you are going away from you and into the back of the bench pin. Never turn and carve toward you. Put your hand at the top and carve into your hand, or try to bend down, something like this I saw some kids doing in scooping. My hand is on the red, not the metal. And I want to ensure that I have a very simple design. I like to think line or shape. So maybe I do a shape like a triangle in Sharpie. And big, thick, black, maybe filled in spaces are going to help create your design. So I'm using shape and just simply line. But your eraser does have two sides. You can try something that's more curved. Maybe I want to do a heart. I filled that in, but I want to fill the space, so I'm going to add some other curved lines here. When you are ready to carve, you have to think to yourself, what makes sense to take away? Do you want to carve away the black space and leave the pink? Or do you want to carve away the pink space and leave the black? Whatever you don't carve away is going to be what's left in your print. To start, my eraser, in fact, I'm actually going to turn my laptop here on the side so you can get a side view here, is at the top of my bench pin. My UV-shaped blade's facing up. I'm holding the red handle, and I press down not too deep to scoop and lift away. Tap, tap, tap. Don't swipe it out with your fingers because that end is sharp. Scoop and carve away. So on these two sides of my eraser, I am carving away the pink and not the black. I turn when I'm ready for a new cut to make sure that my eraser is always against my bench pin. It's pushing against the back, and I'm carving away from myself. I'm never doing one of these. I'm coming toward me or going to the side into my hand. Turn and manipulate your eraser so that you can press, scoop, and lift. Press, scoop, and lift. I'm only carving away the pink I see on the one side. I saw some kids like carving out the sides. You're not going to print that, so it makes no sense to carve it. Being mindful of my surroundings, being mindful of my fingers. In fact, that would be a better way to turn it, Miss McCart. And please, take it from the art teacher with a missing finger. If you mess up, it will hurt. You want to take your time so that you are doing the correct thing. Stop talking and pay attention. What I'm left with is that raised area and I'm carved in. So for example, here I don't have as much to take away. See, that's a curve, which is a little more tricky to do for some kids. But because I'm carving away that pink, I'm leaving the black. That's going to be the area that will stay in my print. This is a little tricky around that heart shape. I want to turn it as I'm cutting, always away from me. And this, artist, is what I need you to have by the end of class today. I need at least just one carving, right? You all only get one eraser. So this is a good lesson in resilience. If you make a mistake, artist, you're going to have to deal with it because I only have enough erasers for everybody. And here's how I can check my work. I would tidy my workspace. I put back my bench pin, put back my gouge. I have my eraser, and I can test my print with a marker and a scrap piece of paper. So observe the areas that are raised up. If I take a wet Crayola marker, not a Sharpie, it won't work with a Sharpie because they are not washable markers, therefore they don't leave a wet mark. But check that out. I color over top of it with my marker. Can't even really see it super well here, but when I take this, press, press, press on my paper, it creates that stamp. This is not a very juicy marker, so it's not leaving a very dark mark. We'll use actual ink when we go to print your piece. So let's try my heart. And this is a way, artists, that you can actually check your work to even make sure that you carved away what you really want. Like I think I have to perfect my heart a little bit there. So we carve away from you. We hold the blade in the correct upward direction, so it's making a V. You're always going into the back of the bench pin. You're being careful. You're aware of your surroundings. You're raising your hand if you have a question for help. Let's give this a try, artists. Good luck.